Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Did you know you can support the channel by joining? Or join my Patreon? Something to think about. Now onto the stories. Case file number 973, written by Wrongdoer Leading, 8029. My daughter knew I was pregnant before I did. A few years ago, when my daughter was 3, I decided to go back to school and become a nurse. My husband and I were in no way trying for a baby whatsoever. I was on birth control and we were very careful. I walked into her preschool one day to find the director and her teachers telling me congratulations with big smiles on their faces. I used to work as a preschool teacher here, so a lot of these people were close friends of mine. I asked them what they're congratulating me for, and they tell me that my daughter announced to everyone that mommy has a little sister in her tummy. I laughed it off and told them all that I was sorry to disappoint them, but that just wasn't true. My daughter and I went home and talked about it. I told her mommy didn't have a baby in her tummy, and she just kept pointing at my belly and saying, "Yes, you do," as if I were lying to her. A few days later, I woke up to someone touching my belly. My daughter has the bottom of my shirt pulled up with her head resting on my belly while she rubs it gently and says, "Baby sister, what are you hiding in there?" It was really sweet, and I just assumed she really wanted a little sister. She had never expressed any interest in having a sibling prior to this, and we never discussed it. We had the talk again, and she got upset with me and told me she had seen her before and she is in there. She told me that her little sister looks different than us and has blonde hair and blue eyes with little holes in her cheeks, aka dimples. My daughter, husband, and I all have very dark hair, chocolate brown eyes, and no dimples. I talked to her about wanting a sibling and tell her that when I finish school, we will try to give her a little brother or sister. Again, she's frustrated and yelling, "I already have a sister." I was expecting my period to start within the next week, like clockwork. It didn't. I took a pregnancy test and just stared at that faint positive result for what felt like forever. I was in complete shock. I was on birth control, so I immediately called my OBGYN and they saw me the next day. It was estimated that I was 4 weeks and 6 days pregnant. I gave birth to a blonde-haired, blue-eyed little girl with the sweetest dimples. This experience has always blown my mind. Case notes are file 973. My daughter knew I was pregnant before I did. Boy, this is one of the more remarkable stories I have ever narrated. I think it's fair to say that children have a special connection with the world, or maybe it's better to say they have specific attunement to the whole universe. They're able to comprehend and perceive it in ways that we can't. The information that's there is accessible. Like in this case, your daughter knew that you had another daughter in you before you did. And even what the daughter was going to look like, having blue eyes and blonde hair, that is probably the most fascinating detail of all of this. And of course that you were on birth control, so this is almost biblical. Birth control can fail, but the whole ensemble of this, the package of this story is absolutely spectacular. And I'm very happy for all of you, including your daughter who really did want a sister. Case file number 974, written by OK Narwhal 6221. Cross the street to reset time. Last week, I experienced a glitch in the Matrix. I was coming home from seeing my best friend who visited from another state at about 3 a.m. Let's keep in mind the fact that I wasn't drunk or off of any other substance, as I've been sober for the past 6 months. I was waiting for the light to change to cross the street. There was a McDonald's directly across the street from me, and I was looking through my phone until the light changed. I also noticed that the street was very quiet and kind of foggy, which was weird since this particular street is always active and full of people, yet at this moment it wasn't. After the light finally changed, I looked left and right to make sure no car was driving recklessly. As I was crossing the street, I tried to continue using my phone, but the screen wouldn't turn on as I repeatedly tried pressing on the side button of my iPhone to turn on to the home screen. When I finally reached across the street, or what I thought was across the street, I looked up only to notice that I was back across the street I came from, this time walking perpendicular up the block from where I intended to go. I stopped in my tracks to take in what just happened. this time hearing the wind blowing and the chatter of people that usually try to sell anyone who passes by, plant mass, and the cars honking their horn. I saw the McDonald's across the street just like before, and as I was walking back down to the corner to cross over to where I had just come from, I was kinda scared and confused as to what just happened. It had to be a glitch in the Matrix, because I know for sure I didn't imagine what just happened. Case file number 974. Cross the street to reset time. Yeah, this sounds like a reset of your brain function. If we're in a simulation, there would be a button that they can press in the real world, where it controls a connection to our inhabited body, the soul to the body. If you just hit a certain button, you can rewind it a certain level in the buffered reality. So the button is pressed, and you are seamlessly, in your mind from your perspective, simply rewinded and still walking, but perpendicular to the road that you were trying to get to. If we live in a buffered reality, a buffered universe, then it's as simple as rewinding a movie. Now if we don't, that's where this kind of glitch is just mind-blowing on another level, and we may never know exactly. But it won't stop us from speculating, right Dave? What do you think? I think he agrees. Speculations. Whoops, that's his butt. Speculations will continue. Case file number 975, written by WonderorKL. From snow, he went into the void. This was in the town I'm currently living in, northern Wisconsin. December last year, after I scrounged up some change, I went out to get a soda at my local gas station. It was like any other day. I got dressed, went down our apartment stairs, and started my usual journey to the local holiday gas station for Pepsi. I still remember all of it as clearly as ever. Just as I exited our apartment and out into the alley, a man walked past me and gave me a wave. If I remember correctly, he wore a red winter jacket with a white stripe in the middle, a gray beanie, and short gray hair underneath, denim jeans and black boots. I listened to music pretty much all day, so when I switched playlists and looked back up, the man was just gone, seemingly vanished. I stopped dead in my tracks, awestruck. I suck at explaining things, but I try. Like I said, he just straight up disappeared, literally gone like he was never there. I remember he was walking in the same direction as me, maybe a couple feet away. There was snow crumbling under his steps like anyone else. There was no car that picked him up. My immediate reaction was to take out my earbuds and listen. Nothing. Next, I checked to see if maybe he went behind the wooden fence. Nothing. The gate had a padlock and the snow from the blizzard on Christmas was there. No signs of the gate being opened and snow being pushed away. I looked for footprints in the snow. Nothing, only mine. And I knew for certain his shoe size was definitely bigger than mine. I was in pure confusion at this point. I looked across the street and the woman I saw walking with a camouflage jacket before the man walked past me was still there, making her way to wherever she was going. I walked briskly out of the alley and looked both ways. The man was still nowhere to be seen. I chucked it up to my imagination or something, joking to myself if he no-clipped into the back rooms. Once I got home, I told my mom and stepfather. Of course, they immediately joked, saying it was a time traveler or something, but they believed me since they experienced their own share of strange happenings in their lives. Even after days, a month after, there was no mention of a disappearance on my step-uncle's police scanner. Does anyone have a logical idea of what happened? Case notes are file 975. From snow, he went into the void. So first I would say Pepsi, really? Coke is better, and honestly the MVP S-tier soda is Dr. Pepper. It is the best. I have some Dr. Pepper right here. Dr. Pepper Zero, red and black version. Slightly sweeter than the white and red. I drink diet always, but it's good. Try it if you haven't. And yes, the back rooms. What a terrifying concept. I'm not sure if it's entirely fictional or I believe there are people who claim to have actually been there and escaped. I don't know, it sounds more like a creepypasta to me, but just the idea that it could be real. That one minute you just wake up in the back rooms that are an infinite maze seemingly of like white and grayish, brownish, disgusting crap. You're just stuck there in this like office maze with apparently dangerous creatures inhabiting it. I don't want to go there. Kinda sounds like purgatory. Limbo. Now for the glitch, I'm wondering if he, the man that you saw, well, didn't see but believed to have vanished, from his mind, did he simply move forward in space-time? Or is it like the last glitch where he simply reset in time? His consciousness wouldn't just have reset, his entire body would have as well. Would it be from your perspective? If someone is rewound, they simply vanish from your perspective, because we don't all have to be playing the buffered reality game from the same point. It could just be watching a movie from different points in time, like skipping ahead in a video. If that's the case, a lot of vanishment could simply be alterations to the program depending on where we are in it. But if not that, it could simply just be a space-time anomaly. Not as common when they're walking, but they do happen all the time now. For him, he may just have taken a step and then taken another and be a mile or 10 miles or 100 miles away. Hell, I wonder if this happens where people literally warp from one country to another and don't have their passport or anything and they can't even get back. That would be awkward, trying to get to the embassy. Yeah, I don't know how I got here. I mean, I kinda just teleported. Maybe they'd commit him to a psych ward or something. And another triple stories down. Almost to 1,000. Getting there. It's very exciting. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. See you tomorrow.